There's a bold prediction floating around the NFL landscape, and it has everything to do with the Chicago Bears, believe it or not. Someone out there thinks the Bears are going to the playoffs this season. That's someone, Colin Cowherd. Yeah, you heard it right, Colin Cowherd. The same guy who's been pretty skeptical about the Bears in the past is now buying into the hype. And honestly, after looking at his reasoning, you might start buying into. Let's break down what's going on here. Cowherd went on his show this week and gave 3 major reasons why he thinks Chicago could be postseason bound in 2025. First and foremost, he pointed out that the rest of the NFC North isn't exactly rock solid. In his words, the Bears will make the playoffs because the competition in their division just isn't that intimidating this year. He mentioned Minnesota potentially regressing, and let's face it, that feels pretty realistic. The Vikings are putting their faith in J.J. McCarthy, who hasn't played a single snap in the NFL. That's a huge gamble for a team that was already treading water. Then there's Detroit. Yes, the Lions were impressive last season, but they lost both of their coordinators to head coaching gigs and a total of 8 coaches overall. That kind of turnover is never easy to bounce back from. It's a massive shift in leadership, in style, and in game planning. And Green Bay, sure, they're solid. They might even be good, but they're not dominant. Cowherd made a point of saying they don't have truly elite personnel across the board, and honestly, he's not wrong, outside of maybe Josh Jacobs, who's a force on offense. The Packers are more about balance than brilliance. Jordan Love showed flashes, but he also struggled in key moments, and that defense, there are big questions, especially at cornerback after parting ways with Jaire Alexander. Their pass rush isn't exactly something to fear either. So, with all of that in mind, Cowherd sees a window, a real opportunity for the Bears to sneak into the postseason. And let's be honest, the NFC North does feel wide open this year. It doesn't look like the kind of division where you need to win 15 games to come out on top. 10 wins might do it. 9 could even be enough for a wild card spot. Now, of course, all of this hinges on what the Bears do themselves, and that brings us to Cowherd's second point, the Ben Johnson effect. He compared Johnson to guys like Sean McVay, Sean Payton, and any read-all coaches who immediately focused on building up the offensive line when they took over their teams, and that's exactly what Johnson is doing in Chicago. This isn't just about scheme, it's about mentality, about establishing dominance in the trenches. The Bears' offensive line last year was, to put it bluntly, a mess. Injuries, inconsistency, and plain old underperformance were the name of the game. But that's changing fast. Let's talk names. Jonah Jackson, Drew Dalman, Joe Thuney. Those are serious upgrades. You're going from a patchwork line made up of backups and injury-prone starters to a unit that could actually protect Caleb Williams and open up running lanes. Even if Tevin Jenkins was healthy all season, Thuney is a step up. Dalman brings stability at center, and Jackson, if he stays on the field, is a big-time addition at guard. Darnell Wright at right tackle should continue to improve. And while left tackle Braxton Jones has had his ups and downs, he's been serviceable enough to not be a liability. Add in depth guys like Aseni Trapillo and Kieran Amagaji, and suddenly, you've got options, you've got depth, you've got insurance. This isn't the same Bears offensive line that folded at the first sign of pressure. This is a unit built to compete, to protect, and to bully teams in the trenches. And when your offensive line improves, everything else does too. Your quarterback has time. Your running game becomes a threat. Your receivers have time to get open. That's the kind of shift that changes seasons. That's what Cowherd is seeing. And it's hard to argue with the logic. But perhaps the biggest reason he's so high on the Bears this year is Caleb Williams. Now, let's get this out of the way. Caleb is still a rookie. He hasn't played a single down in the NFL. There will be growing pains. There will be mistakes. But for the first time in a long time, the Bears have put their young quarterback in a position to succeed. And that's where Cowherd sees the real difference. He talked about the importance of mentorship for young quarterbacks, how critical it is to have a real guide, a coach who understands the passing game, someone who can mold a young talent into a true franchise leader. With Matt Eberflus handing the reins of the offense to Ben Johnson, Caleb finally has that. A guy who speaks his language, a guy who will challenge him, teach him, and help him grow. That's not something the Bears have always provided for their young quarterbacks, but it feels like they've finally learned from their past mistakes. And it's not just about coaching, the roster is better too. The Bears went out and added real weapons, Luther Burden, Rome Odunze, even depth pieces like Olamide Zacos and Khalil Shakir, these guys give Caleb options, give him targets. Add in the upgraded offensive line and a staff built to support him, and this team suddenly looks like a legitimate threat. Now look, we've all heard this before. Bears fans know the drill: hope in the offseason, heartbreak in the regular season. But this time, it does feel different. It's not just hype. There's a real foundation being laid here. Cowherd might be going out on a limb, but he's not doing it blindly. He sees the pieces coming together: a revamped coaching staff, a quarterback with real potential, a division that's up for grabs, and when you look at the schedule, at the matchups, at how this team has built itself from the inside out, the path to the playoffs is there. It's not a guarantee, of course. Nothing in the NFL ever is. But this isn't a hot take with no substance. There's real football logic behind it. And when someone like Cowherd, who's been plenty critical in the past, starts to buy in, you've got to at least stop and take a closer look. Maybe, just maybe, he's onto something this time. Maybe 2025 is the year the Bears finally flip the script. As we look ahead, it's not just about the talent or the coaching, it's about timing, chemistry, and how quickly this new-look Bears team can gel. That's where the training camp becomes critical, with rookies and quarterbacks reporting on the 19th of July, and veterans arriving by the 22nd. This camp will set the tone for the entire season. It's the first chance for Caleb Williams to truly command the huddle, to build that connection with his receivers, and to show that he's ready for the spotlight. And make no mistake, all eyes will be on him, because no matter how solid the defense looks or how strong the offensive line becomes, the quarterback always drives the narrative, and in Chicago, that narrative has to often ended in disappointment. But the Bears aren't just throwing Caleb out there and hoping for the best. They've surrounded him with structure, with a plan. Ben Johnson brings not just offensive innovation, but a clear direction. His track record of developing quarterbacks and constructing efficient defenses gives Bears fans real hope. Add in guys like Joe Thuney, Jonah Jackson, and Drew Dalman up front, and the stage is set for Caleb to learn without being constantly pressured or forced into bad decisions. That's the type of support system that helps a rookie grow, and more importantly, survive the early bumps in the road. Then there's the schedule, which plays a role too. The Bears aren't facing a gauntlet right out of the gate. There are winnable games early on, and that matters for a young team. Building confidence in September can be the difference between a promising season and a lost one. If they can stack a couple of wins early, it eases the pressure, it gives the coaching staff some breathing room, and it lets this roster believe that the work they've put in is starting to pay off. The defense, while not the focal point of Cowherd's playoff prediction, deserves a mention too. It's not an elite unit, but it doesn't have to be. It just needs to be complementary. Take the ball away when it matters, make key stops, and give the offense extra possessions. That's the formula. The Bears aren't trying to win with defense anymore. They're trying to win as a complete team. And with Matt Eberflus still holding influence on that side of the ball, there's reason to believe they'll at least be disciplined and well-prepared. That counts for something in a league where so many games come down to just a few key plays. Now, one of the underrated aspects of this whole situation is how the organization itself has shifted. The front office has been aggressive but smart. They're not just throwing money at the biggest names. They're building something that can last. The roster construction, the coaching hires, the player development focus, at all points to a franchise that's tired of being irrelevant, tired of being the butt of jokes, tired of watching other teams find quarterbacks and build dynasties while they spin their wheels in the mud. This year, it feels like the Bears are finally moving with purpose, with clarity. And that's what makes this prediction from Cowherd feel different. It's not rooted in blind optimism, it's rooted in change, in a team that finally appears to be doing things the right way. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. There's something stirring behind the scenes at Hollis Hall, and it's not just the sound of cleats hitting turf. According to whispers emerging from Chicago Bears training camp, linebacker Tremaine Edmunds may have found himself at the center of a situation the front office can't ignore. Several insiders have hinted that Edmunds' recent behavior during practice has raised serious concerns and may even be forcing the organization's hand. Sources close to the team suggest that Edmunds, known for his intensity on the field, crossed a line during a recent training session by reportedly directing offensive remarks toward a fellow Bears player. While the team has yet to make an official statement, the buzz around the locker room is that the incident wasn't just a minor spat. It was something that could have lasting implications. On team chemistry. It's unclear who the other player involved is, but early reports say the altercation caught the attention of coaching staff and front office executives almost immediately. Words like unacceptable and inappropriate are being used by those familiar with the situation. Now, many are wondering if disciplinary action is on the table, or if Edmunds, a veteran brought in to stabilize and lead the defense, could find his leadership role in jeopardy. Is this just a heat-of-the-moment conflict that will soon blow over, or is it the beginning of a deeper fracture within the team? The Bears have high expectations this season, and locker room unity will be key. For now, no official sanctions have been announced, but sources suggest the Bears' leadership is preparing to step in. The team's response, or lack thereof, in the coming days will speak volumes. One thing is clear: something happened at practice, and it's not going away quietly. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.